I'm here with Paul Axelrod, Professor Emeritus from York University. His book is called Values in Conflict: The University, the Marketplace, and the Trials of Liberal Education, published by McGill-Queen's University Press in 2002. Paul, did you write this on a Mac or PC?
I wrote this on a Mac.
Good to hear. Macs are coming back here in our competition, and we're keeping score. I graduated from York University in 1989 with a degree in economics and sociology. I took electives on film noir and philosophy. However, 10 years later, as you put this book together, in the late 90s, early 2000s, students might have been pressured to take a more applied curriculum in order to get a job. What led to this change?
I think the uncertainty of the job market is one factor, and this pressure to specialize in the STEM subjects, science, technology, engineering, and math, has increased even more since your day. Enrollments in the humanities and social sciences have fallen, though not as greatly in Canada as in the US. And I think this is unfortunate and a bit short-sighted. You know, what I've learned over my research is that in good economic times, all students do well ultimately, no matter what they study. They find their way. In difficult economic times, all fields, including the STEM fields, struggle. Like the collapse of the oil industry has affected engineering opportunities. Computer science has been up and down with the rise and fall of Nortel, which happened in the late 90s and early 2000s. The humanities and social sciences are an important core of the curriculum. I mean, if well taught and well learned, they provide students with analytical and critical thinking skills, writing and communication skills. They enhance their sense of citizenship and global awareness, and knowledge of different cultures. And these are valuable in every era. And I think that we should take a more interdisciplinary approach. I think that STEM students should know about the ethics and the application of science, and the vaccine debates are a good example of that. And the art students should have more than a superficial understanding of science and technology. But I think what we all need to do is get out of our little specialized academic cubbyholes and learn more about each other.
In chapter 5 of this book, you put some of the blame squarely on you and your colleagues. You wrote, "In fact, we are not consistently interesting, and students may have a good pedagogical reason for tuning us out and preoccupying themselves with final grades instead of course material." So I ask you, what kind of things would you do to make your courses interesting?
Well, I think that the lecture system as a core method for teaching needs to be seriously reconsidered, and it has been in some respects. I'm retired now, but in the latter years of teaching, I stopped giving long lectures. In a class of about 40, even up to 50 students, I would speak for about 20 minutes, and then I'd divide the students into small discussion groups, and I'd provide them with questions the day before about the readings, and then I'd go from group to group and engage in dialogue with them. And they were far more engaged that way than in the lecture system, which is, the old sage on stage model, which doesn't always work. There are superb lecturers who can keep students' attention week in and week out, but they are a minority. I think teachers need to use technology more effectively and creatively. And I think veteran teachers especially need to keep relearning how to teach. It's difficult to convince them to do that. They don't always, but I think that's one of the challenges that we need to face.
The book is called Values in Conflict: The University, the Marketplace, and the Trials of Liberal Education, available on the Canadian Electronic Library. Paul, thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much.